One of my favorite techniques for getting closer to an insight is interrogating language. And when you think about some of the brands you guys have worked on, can you remember a particular situation where you heard a word or a phrase and you just thought, what does that really mean?
So one of the things that we've lost a little bit post-COVID is we tend to do more online focus groups. We do more survey-based research, more social listening, that kind of stuff. That's all really important, but there's still nothing that beats sitting in somebody's living room talking to them or going to the store with them or basically spending time with them in their own natural environment. I've worked in a few luxury car brands, but this was like the ultimate luxury car brand, dream cars. And I interviewed a lot of millionaires or close to millionaires that were driving these, $100 to $200,000 cars. And there was one guy in particular Hispanic guy, second generation, who invited me into his home, beautiful home. First thing I noticed when I drove up the driveway in my own little car is that his luxury car was not in one of the four, garages. It was sitting right there and it had just been cleaned. So that's number one. This is really important to him. And then when I get into the house, he, makes a point of taking me the long way to his living room so I can clock some of the stuff in his house. When we get into the living room, we sit down, we start the interview, I start recording. And I say, well, what does success mean to you? And he said, well, it's not about money. It's not about money at all. The trimmings of success are not important to me. What's important to me, and he points to pictures of his family, is my family and spending time with them and making sure that they're happy and educated and well. But at the same time, it's starting to get dark. It's about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And I noticed that he flipped the lights on outside and there's this enormous swimming pool. So it's almost as if the words were coming out of his mouth that why money wasn't important to him, why the trappings of wealth were not important to him, why the luxury car that he was driving was not important to him. What was important to him is that it kept his family safe. And at that point, I think I had enough because I realized this was all for show. What was coming out of his mouth was not reflecting what he was showing me with his body language and his movements and his actions. So I remember saying to him, well, if safety is the most important thing to you, then why don't you just drive a Volvo? And then he said, okay, you got me there. And then the whole conversation changed.